So a little is actually good. That is, a little is good when it's mixed with righteousness, when you're following the Lord and going after his will, and the Lord is working his goodness in you. So I get that attitude to change from verse 16. And this is 40 verses long, so we're going to do a very fast flyover. And again, I encourage you, read through the whole psalm and get your own space. Sin to promise, or sin to avoid, promise to claim, an attitude to change, a command to obey, or an example to follow. But right here, verse 16 says, better is the little that the righteous has than the abundance of many wicked. So it's actually good for you to have a little if you're in the Lord's will, if you're being obedient to him. You should not be ashamed. You should not be sad if you have a little, if it does seem like the fruit is not quite there. Better is the little that the righteous has than the abundance of many wicked. And this whole psalm is an encouragement to you and I. It's an encouragement to us to make sure that we are doing the right thing and that we are not compromising in the ways we go about things and the strategies that we use and the behaviors that we do, that we're not compromising and doing wicked, foolish things so that there's going to be some sort of payout, so that there's going to be some sort of benefit or fruit, because this whole psalm is about celebrating the fact that those that do things right, those that do things righteously, will actually end up much better. Not only in this world as far as being taken care of, and we'll see that clearly in this psalm, but also remember our time frame must be eternity. Trillions upon trillions of years. We're not just talking about 100 years. When God is saying that the righteous are going to be taken care of, he is thinking of trillions of years and not a mere 100 years. So let's get up here to the very beginning. Fret not yourselves because of evildoers. Be not envious of wrongdoers. Don't you dare look at somebody who is doing very well financially, or it appears that whatever it is that you're wanting, they got it, and you know that they're not exactly doing it the right way. They're not doing it morally correct. You don't need to be envious of them because it's not going to pan out well for them. Verse 2, they will soon fade like grass. That's a promise. They will soon fade like grass, those that are not doing it about the Lord's way. It's a promise for you to claim. And notice it says that word soon. Again, that's relative. Soon in the aspect of trillions of years. Yes, it might not even be in this lifetime, but in reality, in the true perspective of our eternal lives, they will soon fade like grass if they're not going about it the Lord's way. And the prayer, of course, is that they would turn to the Lord. Verse 3, trust in the Lord and do good. So that's our encouragement. Even if you got little, trust in the Lord and do the good thing. And then here, verse 4 promises that God will give you the desires of our heart. You truly will be happy as you follow after the Lord. Again, this whole psalm is reflecting on the things that we do not need to be envious of the wicked. We should be happy with the little if we are doing things God's way. Evildoers shall be cut off. It's not going to end well for them. Verse 14, the wicked draw the sword and bend their bows. Like they're actually coming against those that do things right. But notice, what is the promise here? Their sword shall enter their own heart. That's a promise. All the wicked things that they intend to do is actually going to come back on them. There's our main verse that I'm pointing out. Better is the little that the righteous has than the abundance of many wicked. Again, the wicked will perish. That's why it's good for you to have little if you're doing the right things. Here's a sin to avoid. The wicked borrows but does not pay back. That's not what the God's children should do. Here's the promise for the righteous, though. They will inherit the land. Again, we're talking eternity. We're talking the heavenly Jerusalem city coming down at the end. We're talking about trillions and trillions of years. Remember, Jesus gives that parable that says, if you're faithful in a little, I will make you ruler over much. If you're doing well with what the Lord has given you here, then in eternity, then you will inherit the land. You will have responsibilities there that will be wonderful and good. Good promise. Don't be envious of the wicked doers. Though he fall, he shall not be cast headlong. There's a great promise that we're going to persevere. Even though we'll fall, we're not going to keep our face planted down. Beautiful promise here. 25 and 26, I have not seen the righteous forsaken or his children begging for bread. I've mentioned this in the sermon a couple weeks ago, but that the subsistence, God's promise is to take care of your daily bread, subsistence. And I really think that's a good verse for us to always remember. And then here, 26, though, it seems like the righteous is actually ever lending generously. I think by implication saying that the righteous in a normal state of affairs actually has the resource to be able to give and to lend. Verse 29, the righteous, again, we're reminded, shall inherit the land. Verse 32, the wicked watches for the righteous and seeks to put him to death. Again, the psalm will over in a circular manner, keep circling over the same themes. The whole idea is that the wicked is coming for the righteous, attempting to take them down. But what does it say? Verse 33, the Lord will not abandon him to his power. That is the righteous one. So if you're doing things God's way, then the Lord will not abandon you ultimately to that wicked person. And finally, verse 40, the Lord helps them and delivers them. He delivers them from the wicked and saves them because they take refuge in him. It's okay to have a little if you're doing it right. In fact, it's better to have little than to have much. If when you get much, you're doing it in things that are anti-God's way, then it's not just going to end out. It's not going to end very well. I pray that's been a blessing to you. I'll see you in the next video.